I certainly have been waiting for this for, it seems like decades. This was a watch that was created in the 1920s, and it was the kind of one complicated Cartier from that era as well. It was a Tortue monopusher chronograph, meaning that everything start reset was done from the crown. Now, during the CPCP area, Cartier Paris, you guys okay? Oh, Cartier Paris Collection Privé. I was wondering what are they doing. Cartier Paris Collection Privé, they launched a version of that using a movement that was created by THA, which was a company created by François-Paul Journe, Vianney Halter, and Denis Flageolet. Now, this is a completely new version of that watch because that movement was round, and they wanted to make a movement exactly the same shape of the Tortue. Check that out. In addition to that, the initial movement was an oscillating pinion chronograph, which meant there was just a tiny pinion next to the chronograph wheel that went tick. And they were like, that's not really visually dynamic enough, so they wanted to create a complete new laterally coupled movement so you can see the entire clutch mechanism, the drive wheel, engaging the chronograph wheel, and that is magnificent to behold, but they got this watch exactly right. Look at that, 34 mm by 43 mm in terms of diameter and just 10 mm in terms of thickness, and the design is stunning. Tell me what you think.
I mean, Eleanor, quite frankly, you've grown to become such a watch nerd in the last couple of months.
I have. Thank you, Wei. Thank you. I know I've been learning from you because you're the nerd of all nerds. But anyway, I got to talk to you about your tattoos at some point because I find them a little bit disconcerting, but nonetheless. Okay, so let's put that on the stand over here, and we're going to show it to our trusty camera dude. Camera dude, take this away. I know you guys have been waiting to see that watch up close. So I like from a design perspective, they got all the visual cues right. Look at that, color of the dial is perfect. The chemin de fer complemented by the exploded era Roman numerals, everything is perfect, okay? So, but that's not the only Tortue they've launched, and I want you to, well, actually, you know what? Stay with me here because I want to put it through its paces. Let's start.
So, incidentally, as I may use your perfect and exact wording, when it comes to Tortue, this year they're launching also 3 other references, starting with my personal favorite in platinum with diamonds. It is the very first time that you've got a diamond pavé Tortue in the Cartier Privé collection. This comes also in a regular platinum, and you've got an iteration in yellow gold, which makes it extremely elegant, very much in style with all of the Cartiers from the 1940s, 50s, 60s.
Put it on your wrist.
The different
see what it looks like.
It's just perfect. It was made for me.
Wei, I got to tell you, you are a very elegant woman, and that watch works perfectly on you. But I want to show you that on my wrist as well, it works perfectly well, which goes to show you what I've always thought was so cool about Cartier. As Cyril Vigneron likes to say, Cartier watches are not an expression of gender, but about the strength of your character. And if you're looking for the ultimate in shaped, elegant watches, it doesn't get any better. So check this out. This watch is the same size. It looks great. Okay, fine. Her actual name's Eleonor, and it looks pretty good on me. I have to say, it looks phenomenal on me as well. Like, I just love this watch. And these watches, like when you put them on your wrist, it just feels so elegant. It makes you, it puts you in a particular mood, right? You feel stylish.
And if I may add some aesthetic details, here you have also the detail of the cabochon, which I believe is an onyx set on your crown. On mine, it's an inverted diamond where you have la culasse, which is the pointy thing that you have in the diamond. But what's really interesting is when you think about diamond bezel, which are usually tiny and it's just to give these added value of femininity, here it's a substantial size of diamond that makes the bezel actually diamond set, brilliant, shiny, but not just it's an accessory or it's just a detail. It's actually part of the whole design of this particular platinum Tortue. Wonderful. For the first time, diamond set.
So last year we saw the return of the Tank Américaine. The Tank Américaine was created in several versions, including a LM size with an automatic movement. This year they've come back with 2 really cool versions of it. I want to show you first in yellow gold. So I'm going to put that here.
Just the more classic, tone down what you're expecting from a Tank Américaine from Cartier.
Absolutely. And that's a stunning watch, right? Like when I close my eyes and I think of like iconic Tank Américaine, like that yellow gold combination with the sort of like silvered cream dial with the Roman numerals it's perfect. I'm gonna take that off, and of course with the blue cabochon, but check that out. So that is a platinum LM Tank Américaine with a stunning salmon dial.
And burgundy indexes.
Burgundy indexes, no, but you're absolutely right. And it looks beautiful. In fact, Eleanor, I'd love to see that on your wrist if you don't mind.
Can I steal it? I will.
Oh, these watches are great. So again, so you've got the platinum version on Eleanor's wrist, the yellow gold version on my wrist, and you know.
I mean, I'm sorry to cut you, but quite frankly, it feels that we have two completely different watches because of the amount and level of details where you have here, obviously the detail of the Roman numeral, we have some, but a little less. We only have 4 of those. And then you've got the rectangular, very geometric, almost Art Deco period reminiscent. That way you have more of the readability of what you have from
the classic Cartier sort of iconography. Yeah, I totally agree. So you've got 2 different expressions of the Tank Américaine on my wrist, very classic on here. Even though it comes from the Art Deco period, it feels super contemporary because of the use of platinum, because of this stunning salmon dial. Now, what's really cool about these watches is look at how they conform to the curvature of our wrists, right? So in 1921, when Louis Cartier created the Tank Cintré, which was the watch that this isn't derived from, right? It's a little bit less extreme than the Tank Cintré. He was the first guy to really pay attention to human morphology and said, you know what, I want to create not like a pocket watch that's adapted to the wrist with like wired lugs. I want to create a shaped watch that beautifully conforms to the human architecture. And I think that is one of the reasons that Cartier just feels so elegant on the wrist. Yeah. They're
when
great.
you look at it on the side, it's even more like it's striking.
I mean, it's stunning,
you
right?
really see it.
Okay, so we're going to go from there to one of my favorite subjects, which is tiny watches. Right?
Well, so then we keep on the Tank Américaine.
Okay.
And I will take the
Tank LC.
The tiny LC, which could almost be worn as a ring. Quite frankly, they might not like me saying that, but
so we saw the kind of a renaissance for mini watches last year. They brought out some really cool watches, including mini versions of these, and they also did a great Benoit on a bangle as well. And and it's interesting because that looks great on a woman, but it also looks great on guys as well. And our friend Mark Cho actually wears 2 of those watches as kind of like friendship bracelets on his wrist as well, and it looks so cool. So I'm going to put this mini watch on just to show you that it actually looks great on a guy, even an old fat tattooed guy like me.
You know what? You're gonna put 2.
I'm gonna do like a friendship bracelet. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna do one here.
And 1 there. You have a baby wrist.
Thanks. So if you look at it there, you could actually wear them stacked like that. And I think it looks just so cool. Okay, I'm not a big fan of the stack because I don't love the idea of a cabochon on my watch banging into the other watch. But maybe in this instance, I would make an exception because it just looks so damnably cool like this, right? I mean, I love
basically
it.
a double bracelet. Like when you have the double thread, then it's
Yeah.
going to look the same way. And you've got the 2 actual Cartier signature from the LC with the design and proper design of the tank, and obviously the iconic design of the Tank Américaine, which make these 2 tanks so different, and yet you can tell that they're part of the same family.
And now we're going to go from these 2 mini watches, which we both absolutely adore, to a small LC, which has a stunning...
Which is still mini to some extent.
Yeah, it's a small watch.
The detail is very interesting because yes, you've got the contrast that Cartier loves when it comes to jewelry iterations. You've got the yellow gold, the black lacquered, and the diamonds. You can almost think that it's a diamond, it's a snow set pavé, which means that the technicality of it is that you've got all the metal disappearing and you've got different range of diamonds calibrated, but that way it's not even this. It's the classical way of setting diamonds.
Stunning.
But the way they've done it, you don't see any prongs, you don't see any metal, you just see the shininess and brilliance of those diamonds, obviously contrasted with the rectangular shape of the black lacquer that you have right in the center of the tiny LC that I particularly love.
So they call this kind of a cocktail watch, and I think that that's perfect, right? So if I was going to wear like something, I was going to put on black tie, for example, and go to an elegant dinner, I could not think of a cooler watch to wear than this small size LC with the diamond setting and the lacquer in the center. But I want to show you this watch on Eleanor as well because this watch works equally well on her. Okay, almost as equally well because I think it's kind of awesome on me.
You can borrow it one day from me.
Thank you, Eleanor. It's very kind of you.
You know what? I mean, obviously we're not going to do this, but this stacked with what is the jewelry trend at the moment, where you have the love bracelet, you can have the nail, you can have the full range collection, even at Cartier, even with other like modern things. But what's really cool is that this becomes a full-on blend that becomes almost a second skin on your style, on what you like, and defining truly, there we are. Now we're talking. Look how cool.
Dude, actually, that looks phenomenal, I have to say. Like, again, I'm not a fan of the stack, but in this particular instance, I'm coming out with a new rule. Never, ever stack your watch unless it's a Cartier, then it's okay to stack. Would you agree? And now I'm going to start stacking because I'm lucky enough to own a white gold, just including a couple of like a white gold Cartiers, and I'm going to start rocking that look. All right, you've convinced me, Eleanor. It looks so cool. You know, we're going to say thank you to Clayton, also, who's the gentleman that owns this beautiful jewelry. Okay, so
now we're gonna jump. Okay, please
hang
do
on,
it.
no, let's do a close-up of this watch also for our trusted camera individual, also video director, also a man of tattoos and earrings and great taste. Sylvester, what was your wedding walkout sound? Was it Sunflower?
Yes.
Was it Post Malone?
He was it.
Oh yeah, really? Hey, 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 hey. Okay, I can't sing. All right, let's, Eleanor. you
Okay,
have some?
so deep dive into the Santos collection.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the Santos Dumont, but the first one we want to talk about.
Before we even get into it, I'm very excited because when I did the Watches and Wonders prediction, I knew there was going to be loads of green, gray, and blue. What do we have here? 3 beautiful lacquer dial. You're going to start with the gray and yellow gold,
Yeah.
which is a beautiful iteration of it. You've got a platinum version, much heavier, but it strikes perfectly with this olive green. But I think my personal favorite is this like blue, very intense, but this has this like sunburst, sun ray, different reflection of it with a combination of rose gold.
You know, what I think that's so cool about these watches is if you look at the Santos Dumont and you see the application of lacquer both on the bezel and the top of the case, it just really changes the identity of the watch altogether. It just brings a lovely sort of, I know, visual richness to it.
But you know what? It's also like a natural progression of when they relaunched the Must Tank collection and the Tank collection, you had all these beautiful lacquered burgundy, olive green, even black dials. And right now you have a smaller diameter case of the Santos, which normally you think, or when you think the Santos Dumont with the big complication and the heavier case, this way anyone can wear it. And it's actually quite fun because the colors are not that classic when you think about it.
And then, sorry, can we borrow your Justin Clue again? We're going to do, we're going to show the power. Well, you can take a look at that. I'm going to show you the power of the stack. Towards you or away from you?
Both is fine.
Both is. And then we're going to show you the power of the stack over here. I mean, I have to say, that looks amazing together. Yes. And then I actually love this green watch in particular. It also reminds me of the 50-piece limited edition that we launched last year, Le Cabinetier. I'm sorry, the 50-piece limited edition we launched last year was called Le Flaneur. It was a collection for Cartier lovers. And for all of you, those 49 of you who did not sell your watch, I love you guys. For the one guy that did sell your watch, you motherfucker. But that looks amazing. And then now let's go from that to.
No, that one is actually pretty fun. Why is that? Because not only you have a cornalline dial, which makes this uneven color where you would think, oh, there's something odd in the lacquer. It's not. It's a natural gemstone, or quite frankly, an ornamental hoard stone. What's really fun is that you've got the Roman numerals counterclockwise.
Correct.
So if you look at it closely, you start from the left and then you go from 1 to 12. And it's not the usual way of reading time, but it makes it such a fun way and new.
So the hands
Adding
will
kind of a new design
way.
is like, okay, what happened internally? Well, obviously it was on purpose, and it was for you to actually spend some time looking at the dial and all the details that this Santos has to offer.
So the really cool thing about this is that there was a pièce unique made for a Japanese architect who had done a beautiful installation for Cartier in Japan, and he had wanted a watch that went backwards, right? He wanted to do something because he was really interested philosophically in the nature of time. And this is the Rewind, right? Correct? It is the Rewind, and that watch does exactly that. It goes backwards, and it's kind of, to me, a really lovely visual allegory for saying like, hey, you know, time is precious. You know, we're always moving.
Don't waste it.
And don't waste it. Okay, and on the subject of time, I know yours is precious, so we are going to have just one last watch here. Eleanor, take it away.
No, please do.
Okay. Well, this is the Santos. So guys, simple rule. Santos Dumont strap, Santos bracelet, okay? So Santos, and it is a dual time watch, and the dual time indicator is at 6 o'clock. And for those of you with really good eyesight, unlike me, I'm now going to give you a close-up, and you'll be able to see that right here. And I am going to, okay, so Eleanor, while they're focused on that, take the watch that you like best from this entire collection, and then we will reveal it to the camera when we count to 5. Not yet, just stay focused on there.
I have a hard time choosing. I'm a Libra, remember. Can I choose 2?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, I'm gonna do mine first. So my favorite is, of course, the Cartier Tortue monopusher. I've been waiting for the return of this watch faithfully, so much so that I felt like it was in an existential play, like waiting for Godot, but it's finally back and it's better than ever. And it's because it's got this beautiful shape movement on the back, right there. That is actually Tortue shaped. It is now column wheel, lateral clutch instead of oscillating pinion, and the watch is absolutely perfect. And look at that, it looks phenomenal. It looks great on my wrist as well.
I chose 2 because, again, I'm a Libra, but I think it's the best of 2 worlds. You've got platinum, first iteration of basically a diamond set on the bezel of this Tortue from the Cartier Privé collection. And you've got the Santos with this lacquered blue dial and bezel from the iconic Santos. It's combined with rose gold, and quite frankly, you can wear this all day, all night. You can mix and match them depending on what your schedule is about. And I couldn't choose 1. It's always better to go with 2. Actually, 3 would even be
Okay, so
better.
not to be outdone by Eleanor Picciotto, I'm going to instead choose 3 watches. So I have explained to you, I'm going to do the Tortue
That's
monopusher
called
chronograph.
cheating.
And now I'm going to show you the 2 minis, the LC and the Tank Américaine, which I'm going to wear like friendship bracelets, which I think are absolutely cool. So on that subject, guys, thank you for your coolness in terms of staying tuned to us. Eleanor, you're the best. Thank you, homie. Peace out.